Shabbat Shalom, my beautiful brothers and sisters in Yahuwah Elohim, and welcome. Welcome to our Shabbat Bible study. I hope everybody had a great week. And now, it's time for Shabbat. Time for Yah's Day of Rest. Get ready, gang, because we're starting a new book tonight, alright? And the book is called Shemu'el Aleph, which is 1 Samuel. Okay? So go ahead and grab your Bibles and we'll get started tonight. Please grab your Bibles and read along with me. It's better. It's easier to learn if you see with your eyes and hear with your ears. It's for your benefit. Okay? Alright, gang. Let's go ahead and we'll get my glasses on so I can see. Wow, there's words on the page. Let me get a drink here. There we go. Water in, coffee out. Alright, yeah, that's enough coffee for today. Okay, gang, get a drink real quick. Ooh, something that's not coffee. Alright. Alright, y'all comfy and ready? Okay, let's get started. Shemu'el Aleph, Chapter 1. And there was a certain man of Ramathaim Sophim, of the mountains of Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, yeah, son of Yehoram, son of Elihu, son of Tohu, son of Suf, an Ephraimite. And he had 2 wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. Now this man went up from his city year by year to worship and to slaughter to Yahuwah of hosts in Shiloh. And the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of Yahuwah, were there. And when the day came for Elkanah to make a slaughtering, he gave portions to Peninnah his wife, and to all her sons and daughters. But although he loved Hannah, he gave only 1 portion to Hannah, because Yahuwah had shut up her womb. Moreover, her rival also provoked her greatly, to make her irritable, because Yahuwah had shut up her womb. And so he did, year by year. Whenever she went up to the house of Yahuwah, she was provoked, so that she wept and did not eat. And her husband Elkanah said to her, Hannah, why do you weep? Why do you not eat? And why is your heart sad? Am I not better to you than 10 sons? And Hannah rose up after eating and drinking in Shiloh, while Eli the priest was sitting on the seat by the doorpost of the Hakal of Yahuwah. And she was bitter in life, and prayed to Yahuwah, and wept greatly. And she made a vow, and said, O Yahuwah of hosts, if you would indeed look on the affliction of your female servant, and remember me, and not forget your female servant, but shall give your female servant a male child, then I shall give him to Yahuwah all the days of his life, and let no razor come upon his head. So she's making an oath to Yahuwah that if he blesses her with a son, that he will be born under a Nazirite vow. So a razor will never come to his head. Okay? Alright. And if you want to check out what a Nazirite vow is, it's Numbers 6. Verse 12. And it came to be, as she kept on praying before Yahuwah, that Eli was watching her mouth. And Hannah spoke in her heart. Only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. So Eli thought she was drunk. Then Eli said to her, "How long are you going to be drunk? Put your wine away from you." Because she was just praying quietly with her lips moving, and he couldn't hear any words. So he thought she was drunk. Verse 15, and Hannah answered and said, "No, my master, I am a woman pained in spirit. I have drank neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my being before Yahuwah. Do not take your female servant for a daughter of Baal, for it is out of my great concern and provocation that I have spoken until now." And Eli answered and said, "Go in peace, and the Elohim of Yisrael give you your petition which you have asked of him." And she said, "Let your female servant find favor in your eyes." And the woman went her way and ate, and her face was no more sad. And they rose up early in the morning and worshipped before Yahuwah, and returned and came to their house at Ramah. And Elkanah knew Hannah his wife, and Yahuwah remembered her. So she conceived. Verse 20, and it came to be at the turn of days that Hannah conceived and bore a son, and called his name Shemu'el, because I have asked Yahuwah for him. And the man Elkanah and all his house went up to slaughter to Yahuwah, the yearly slaughtering, and his vow. But Hannah did not go up, for she said to her husband, "When the child is weaned, then I shall take him, and he shall appear before Yahuwah, and remain forever there." And her husband Elkanah said to her, "Do what is good in your eyes. Remain until you have weaned him. Only let Yahuwah establish his word." And the woman remained and nursed her son until she had weaned him. And when she had weaned him, she took him up with her, with 3 bowls, and 1 ephah of flour, and a skin of wine, and brought him to the house of Yahuwah in Shiloh. And the child was young. So he was really young. He was just weaned. It was a year. So he was a year old. Verse 25, and they slew a bull, and brought the child to Eli. And she said, "O my master, as your being lives, my master, I am the woman who stood by you here, praying to Yahuwah. I prayed for this youth, and Yahuwah has granted me what I asked of him. So I have also loaned him to Yahuwah. All the days that he lives, he shall be loaned to Yahuwah." And he worshipped there before Yahuwah. Chapter 2. And Hannah prayed and said, "My heart rejoices in Yahuwah. My horn has been high in Yahuwah. My mouth is opened wide over my enemies, for I have rejoiced in your deliverance. There is no one set apart like Yahuwah, for there is no one beside you, and there is no rock like our Elohim. Do not multiply words so proudly. Let no arrogance come from your mouth, for Yahuwah is an El of knowledge, and by him deeds are weighed. Bows of the mighty are broken, and those who stumble shall be girded with strength. The satisfied have hired themselves out for bread, and the hungry have ceased. Even the barren has borne 7, and she who has many children pines away. Yahuwah put to death and makes alive. He brings down to Sheol and raises up. Yahuwah makes poor and makes rich. He brings low and lifts up. He raises the poor from the dust. He lifts the needy from the dunghill, to sit with princes, and make them inherit a throne of esteem. For the supporters of the earth belong to Yahuwah, and he has set the world upon them. He guards the feet of his loving committed ones. But the wrong are silent in darkness, for a man does not become mighty by power. Those who oppose Yahuwah are shattered. From the heavens he thunders against them. Yahuwah judges the ends of the earth and gives strength to his sovereign, his king, and exalts the horn of his anointed. So it kind of sounds like he's talking about, or that she is talking about Yahusha. If you read that last verse, it sounds like she's speaking of Yahusha. So maybe she's prophesying. Doesn't say exactly, but that's what it sure does incline to if you read it that way. Alright, verse 11. And Elkanah went to his house at Ramah, but the youth served Yahuwah before Eli the priest. And the sons of Eli were sons of Belial. They did not know Yahuwah. They had rotten sons. And the ruling of the priests with the people was that when any man slaughtered a slaughtering, the priest's servants shall come with a three-pronged flesh hook in his hand while the meat was cooking, and shall strike it into the basin, or kettle, or cauldron, or pot, and the priest would take for himself all that the flesh hook brought up. Thus they did in Shiloh to all Yisrael who came there. So whenever they'd make an offering like that, you'd throw this three-pronged hook in there, the priest would, and whatever he drew up when the meat started to, fall apart in the pot, that belonged to him. Okay, that's how they got their portion, I guess. Verse 15, also, before they burned the fat, the priest's servant would come and say to the man who slaughtered, Give meat for roasting to the priest, for he does not accept cooked meat from you, but raw. That's not exactly what it says in Leviticus now, is it? Verse 16. And if the man said to him, Let the fat be burned up first, then take as much as your being desires, he would then answer him, No, but give it to me now, and if not, I shall take it by strength. So he's threatening, the priest is threatening the guy making the offering, that if he doesn't give him the meat that he's asking for, he's going to beat him up and take it anyway. Wow, that's quite a priest, ain't it? Yeah, a little greed there. Verse 17. And the sin of the young man was very great before Yahuwah, for the men despised the offering of Yahuwah. What's sin? Sin's lawlessness, not following Torah. So these guys were just, wow. Verse 18, But Shemu'el was attending before Yahuwah, a youth, wearing a linen shoulder garment. So he's just a little kid, and he's performing the service of a priest. Verse 19, And his mother would make him a little robe, and bring it to him year by year when she came up with her husband to slaughter the yearly slaughtering. So his mom was making him his little robes. Verse 20, And Eli blessed Elkanah and his wife, and said, Yahuwah give you offspring from this woman, for the one she prayed for, and gave to Yahuwah. Then they would go to their own home, and Yahuwah visited Hannah, so that she conceived, and bore 3 sons and 2 daughters, while the young Shemuel grew before Yahuwah. And Eli was very old, and had heard all that his sons were doing to all Yisrael, and how they lay with the women who were assembling at the door of the tent of appointment. Really? They were fornicating with the women that were hanging out at the door. These guys are something else. Verse 23, And he said to them, Why do you do deeds like these? For I hear of your evil deeds from all the people. So Eli knows what his sons are doing. Verse 24, Know, my sons, for it is not a good report that I hear, making the people of Yahuwah transgress. If one man sins against another, Elohim shall judge him. But if a man sins against Yahuwah, who shall pray for him? But they did not listen to the voice of their father, though Yahuwah was pleased to put them to death. So Yah's like, well, you know what? If you're not going to listen to your father, looks like I'm going to have to take care of this. Verse 26, and the young Shemu'el was growing in stature, and was in favor with Yahuwah, and also with men. And a man of Elohim came to Eli, and said to him, thus said Yahuwah, did I not clearly reveal myself to the house of your father when they were in Mitzrayim in Pharaoh's house, even to choose him out of all the tribes of Israel to be my priest, to offer upon my slaughter place, to burn incense, and to wear a shoulder garment before me? And did I not give to the house of your father all the offerings of the children of Israel made by fire? So a man of Yahuwah, it's not a capital M man, so it's not a Christophany, but somebody who received the word from Yah, came and is talking to Eli about all this, and he's loading him up with what Yah said. He says, Yahuwah came to your father, Levi, in Mitzrayim and told him what was up here, and you guys can't even do what you're supposed to do. Wow. Okay, verse 28. Verse 29. Why do you kick at my slaughtering and my offering, which I have commanded in my dwelling place, and esteem your sons above me, to make yourselves fat with the best of all the offerings of Israel, my people? Therefore Yahweh Elohim of Israel declares, I said indeed that your house and the house of your father would walk before me forever. But now Yahweh declares, far be it from me, for those who highly esteem me, I highly esteem, and those who despise me are lightly esteemed. See, the days are coming that I shall cut off your arm and the arm of your father's house, so that an old man shall not be found in your house. And you shall see an enemy in my dwelling place, despite all the good which Elohim does for Israel, and there shall not be an old man in your house forever. But any of your men whom I do not cut off from my slaughter place is to consume your eyes and grieve your life, and all the increase of your house die as men. And this is the sign to you that comes upon your two sons, upon Hophni and Pinehas. In one day they are going to die, both of them. And I shall raise up for myself a trustworthy priest, who does according to what is in my heart, and in my being, in his soul. And I shall build him a steadfast house, and he shall walk before my anointed forever. And it shall be that anyone who is left in your house shall come and bow down to him for a piece of silver and a cake of bread, and say, please put me in one of the priestly positions to eat a piece of bread. Chapter 3. And the young Shemuel was serving Yahuwah before Eli, and the word of Yahuwah was rare in those days, no vision breaking forth. And it came to be in that day that Eli was lying down in his place, and his eyes had begun to grow so dim that he was unable to see. And the lamp of Elohim had not gone out in the Hakal of Yahuwah, where the ark of Elohim was, and Shemuel was lying down to sleep. And Yahuwah called Shemuel, and he answered, Here I am. And then ran to Eli and said, Here I am, for you called me. But he said, I did not call. Lie down again. So he went and lay down. And Yahuwah called again, Shemuel. And Shemuel arose and went to Eli, and said, Here I am, for you called me. But he answered, My son, I did not call. Lie down again. Now Shemuel did not yet know Yahuwah, and the word of Yahuwah was not yet revealed to him. And Yahuwah called Shemuel again the third time, and he rose and went to Eli and said, Here I am, for you did call me. Then Eli understood that Yahuwah had called the youth. So Eli said to Shemuel, Go, lie down, and it shall be, if he calls you, say, Speak, Yahuwah, for your servant hears. And Shemuel went and lay down in his place. And Yahuwah came and stood and called as at other times, Shemuel, Shemuel. And Shemuel answered, Speak, for your servant hears. And Yahuwah said to Shemuel, See, I am doing a matter in Israel, at which both ears of everyone who hears it, shall tingle. In that day I shall confirm against Eli all that I have spoken concerning his house from beginning to end. For I have declared to him that I am judging his house forever for the crookedness which he knows, because his sons cursed Elohim, and he did not rebuke them. And therefore I have sworn to the house of Eli that the crookedness of the house of Eli shall never be atoned for by slaughtering or grain offering. Yah is really mad. So the house of Eli, they can't even atone for what they've done. They are cut off. Verse 15. And Shemuel lay down until morning and opened the doors of the house of Yahuwah. And Shemuel was afraid to report the vision to Eli. Then Eli called Shemuel and said, Shemuel, my son. And he answered, Here I am. And he said, What is the word that he spoke to you? Please do not hide it from me. Elohim do so to you, and more also, if you hide a word from me of all the words that he spoke to you. And Shemuel reported to him all the words, and hid none from him. And he said, It is Yahuwah, let him do what is good in his eyes. So Eli is admitting that whatever judgment comes down, he deserves it. Verse 19, And Shemuel grew up, and Yahuwah was with him, and did not let any of his words fall to the ground. And all Israel, from Dan to Beersheba, knew that Shemuel had been established as a prophet of Yahuwah. And Yahuwah continued to appear in Shiloh, because Yahuwah revealed himself to Shemuel in Shiloh by the word of Yahuwah. And that's the end of chapter 3. All right. Well, there's quite a bit going on there. It sounds like the priests are corrupted. They've gotten greedy. And now they're just taking whatever they want from the people, Eli's sons. And it's a real mess. And Yah is not happy about the whole thing. But he's got Shemuel to try to guide into where he wants him to be. So it sounds like Shemuel's on a good path with Yah. So, well, that was a good study this Shabbat. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I hope y'all are going to get something out of it, and I hope y'all stick with it. Let me think here. Our next study will be midweek. Fourth day, okay, which is Wednesday by the Gregorian calendar, but it's fourth day. That'll be our next study. We have no more extra canonicals for now. The extra canonicals that we'll have will be later on when we get into the prophets. I've got 2 more extra canonicals that we'll go over when we get into the prophet studies. Okay? All right. So that's all I've got for you tonight. I hope that you all have a wonderful Shabbat. Please, take the day, study and pray. and teach your children. It is so important that we teach our children so that they understand, so that they know Yahuwah. It's so important. We don't want to lose our children. We're in the end times. This generation of our children is probably the last generation. So we need to help prepare them. All right? All right. Thanks for joining me, gang. And we will see you on fourth day. Okay? Hey, Yah bless each and every one of you that are seeking knowledge and wisdom of Yahuwah, to know Him better and to be better servants for Yahuwah. Praise Yah. Praise Yahuwah Elohim, our awesome Abba Father. And you guys have a great Sabbath, and we will see you when we see you. Okay? All right. Shalom.